can take away everything that I ever worked for. I'ma keep on pushing till I earn more. I won't ever fall. Won't never break. Won't never. Won't never. Won't never. Won't never. Won't never. Call it quits. Call it quits.
Hey guys, welcome back to BUCH Cast. It's Christmas week, so we weren't thinking of shooting one this week, but this is what we love to do, so we decided to film.
What's up, guys? We have a different format today. I'm gonna ask Boris a question, something that I've been thinking about. See what his thoughts are on it. He doesn't know what that question is yet, and then he'll do the same for me. So we'll see how we are on the spot.
Is this a little debate or something?
No, just want to hear Boris's thought on some things. So question. I'll ask you a question, and then I'll read something about it while you're thinking of your answer.
All right.
Question is how do you remain happy and content and satisfied living in the moment while still always trying to pursue something else? Like, you just bought your house, and then yesterday you were talking about moving to Florida already and moving up north and all this stuff, and now you're like, oh, my car's not good enough, I want a new car, all this stuff when you've gotten it all. Anyways, thinking the answer, I'll read something interesting I read in a book yesterday. It was a interview with a business owner. He has a financial investment firm, and he said that he sees a issue in some of his clients. He said they spend their whole lives working and putting money away, and some just don't enjoy it. When they retire, they can't get used to spending their money because they're so used to putting it away. I've really just learned from all of that you have to enjoy your life. Actually, the meeting right before our call was someone who retired and 2 years later got cancer, and now she's not going to enjoy everything she and her husband worked their whole lives for. You have to enjoy life along the way. You can't just be focused on the destination. To me, that's a ongoing deal. You really have to enjoy the journey and enjoy the ride. If you are just trying to get to the top of the mountain and you don't enjoy the hike, well, you're not going to be happy when you get to the top of the mountain either. You have to enjoy the actual hike too. You also have to stop and celebrate all along the way as well. So I really learn to enjoy everything about a day I possibly can, and I try to celebrate as much as I can. So, tell me your thoughts, Boris.
Yeah. So, dude, there's a lot to it. Like you said earlier, I was talking about the Florida thing and the cars and stuff like that. That's just something that truly motivates me. The reality is Ohio weather sucks. 6 months out of the year, it's like dark and depressing here. 6 o'clock in the morning it's dark, and 6 o'clock at night it's dark. So it's like all you see is darkness. And I wake up early and stay up, whatever. So it's like I don't know. It's just not the ideal location. I guess I would rather in a couple years. One of my goals is for me and my wife and my family at that time, whatever, my little cats and everything, but is to be able to go to live in Florida from like January 1st to whatever, May, and then come back to Ohio. And that's just a dream of mine, and it's going to happen. And me and my wife are both on board. So it's just one of those things. So, but remaining content with where I'm at. So what I realized as well, like I've been reading a lot of books and educating myself as well a lot this year, and I realized that I don't find enjoyment in any of my material things. So there's a direct correlation between the material things and my goals and my ambitions and enjoyment in living in my life. So it's like they're motivating factors for me, but they're not what makes me content. So like my car, I have like my dream car and it's fast and all these things, but like it makes me happy, but it's not like, it's like a motivating factor. I got there and I'm like, all right, cool. Like what's next in a sense, but it's not, I realized at that point where I was like, okay, this does not fulfill me. A nice house does not fulfill me. Sure, it's nice to have and all of that, but I realized that the happiness comes in within, and so I really had to dig down deep and find out like what is Boris like? What is Boris truly like? Like what is Boris gonna love when he has money and when he's broke. Like, what do I love to do? And so I think finding what makes you content and happy when you don't have much is the key to it. And finding like I'm reading this book right now called Think Like a Monk, and I'm truly enjoying it, and I've done a lot of research afterwards, and a lot of it is talking about finding just gratitude, being grateful for the little things in life. Like in the last couple of months, I'm sure you guys have seen this huge transition in my day to day where I've been extremely even though like stuff is freaking rough. Or has been rough or whatever, like the whole house process, renovating, all that BS. But like finding the enjoyment in the little things and bringing that positivity around to my office, to my peers, to my wife and family. And I've been finding enjoyment in these little things, like morning walks with my wife every day. It's like the best thing in the world right now. And I find so much enjoyment and gratitude in being able to wake up and be healthy and do the things I do. And it's a lifestyle. Whereas I don't know, like the correlation between like super nice materialistic things has nothing to do with my inner
So
gratitude.
if you were to die today, would you die content and satisfied?
Yeah. So
Would there be anything that you regret or wish that you would have done?
truthfully, we all have regrets. I mean, we all have something in the past but we can't look at that stuff. Like you learn from it and you move on, and you become a better person moving forward. So it's like there's things I've done in my life that I'm like, whatever, you're not entirely proud of, but like as long as you learn from them, and don't even think like that again. So yeah, it just depends.
So how do you find a balance then between, obviously as business owners, we have to sacrifice short-term pleasure, short-term comfort for long-term gain.
Yeah.
But we also have to, enjoy the journey and have fun while we're doing it. So how do you find a balance between, not living in the moment and not thinking about the future, but also not putting everything off to the future and sacrificing so much now that you're not
enjoying it at all.
Enjoying the journey.
So, dude, the one thing I've noticed is a lot of people burn out, and a lot of people burn out and lose enjoyment in the things they do. Like, so they go and start all these companies, they start all these like fundraisers, all these different things in their life, and it gets overwhelming because it's like your life just becomes chaotic as hell. So like they get so overwhelmed that it's not even enjoyable anymore. It's not even, but like you forget the big picture. Like these things are in our life because we earned them, and like I don't know, it's just a different approach where you're like, dude, I'm grateful to be alive. I'm grateful to be up. I'm grateful to be able to have these. I'm grateful that God gave me the ability to do these things. So it's like, it's a different approach. And like last week on my story, I posted like, we got to change the way we look. Like we don't have to go to work today. Like we get to go to work today. We get to wake up and we get to go to work today. So I think it just comes in with that initial approach, how you look at things. Like, dude, like you start realizing how much abundance there really is in your life, and it's just a whole different approach. So,
how about you, Steve?
Are you asking me
what
the
do you
same
think?
question, or
Yeah.
what do I think about this
Yeah.
whole thing?
Yeah. Tell us your thoughts.
No, I was actually I watched a clip the other day. Just came across it of Kevin Hart talking about his like high school days, and he brought up a good point where he kind of referenced it, where he noticed everyone kind of having a good time partying during high school, and he was doing the same. But when it came time to SATs, like he saw all his friends score high on the SATs and like get full rides to different schools or get like accepted to different schools, but he scored super low. And then he came to the realization that he was living too in the present. Mm-hmm. Like he was not planning for his future while everyone else was,
Yeah.
And the responsibility falls on you. You can't have too much of either.
Yeah, but so I think it's completely okay to look at the future and look at the present, as long as we're not dwelling on the past, and not dwelling on what could have been or what happened yesterday or the day before or last month or whatever. So as long as we're like looking at the future and seeing what the outcomes we're expecting and seeing what we're working towards, and being present as well. But as long as we're not looking backwards.
Someone that I know is on the opposite spectrum. He's what's called. He's like always putting away a nest egg. He's like always saving for the future, not living in the moment. And he's living a lot more reserved than he can based on his income.
Yeah.
But he's always saving for the future and like always planning ahead. But like thing is, like when does that future come for you? You know, like if you're always planning ahead, then you're never gonna enjoy the moment and live in the moment because you're gonna always wanna enjoy it down the line and the future never comes.
I agree. So one thing that I learned from my grandmother, and she was an amazing woman, but one thing I learned from my grandmother was you have to enjoy the things that you have in front of you. You have to enjoy the things that people give you and the blessings that come your way. And you can't just put them off and give them to others. And you can't always, there has to, what goes around comes around. So let what comes around, take what comes around. So one thing I learned from my grandmother is dude, I would always buy her something like roses or chocolates or bring her something. Dude, every freaking time she would try to regift it. Because that was just who she was. She was a really great woman, and she would try to regift it to someone. And a lot of these older people, they do that. And dude, every single time I'd bring her chocolates, or I'd bring her Chipotle, or I'd bring her something, she would try to find someone in the house who wants it or needs it, and essentially needs it more than her, and she tries to give it away. And I saw that growing up, all my life. I saw that. I remember as a kid, I'd be go to the gas station, get hot Cheetos, and I'd bring her something, and she would give it to my sister or give it to someone else, and I always thought to myself when's she gonna enjoy it? And I saw that happen year after year after year after year. And I asked her, I'm like, Grandma, when are you gonna start enjoying these things? And she's like, well, I find enjoyment in giving them to others. So I mean, there's a point to where she found the enjoyment, but it's dude, what goes around comes around. And what I've learned is take what comes around to you, because it's rightfully yours, So I don't know.
Yeah, it's a tough balance to find, I think, because this friend of mine has wanted a new car for 5-6 years, but he drives a 12-year-old car, and he doesn't feel validated to justify buying himself a new car.
Yeah,
he'd rather have a lot of money sitting in his account.
Yeah.
And it's it's if you were to if you knew this was your last day or last week or last month or your last year, how different would you be living your life? But in the same breath, you got to also find a balance, because you also got to put money away and plan for the future.
Absolutely.
So it's you got to find a balance when your future's planned for enough, and how much you're gonna dedicate to that, whether that's 10-15% or how much ever you want to do.
Yeah. No, I mean, that for asset allocation, I understand. Putting assets away for the future, it's completely understandable. But there's people that truly believe that they will not have enjoyment to their full capability until they're retired, or until there's a certain amount in their savings account, or until their kids grow up or something like that. And it's just it's a hard way to live. It's a hard way to even me thinking about it. Dude, you're supposed to find enjoyment in these things. You're supposed to take advantage of these things that come your way as well. If you have a great month, put some money away, allocate some money there. But bro, go treat yourself. Yeah. Go take yourself on a weekend away with your wife and enjoy the heck out of it. We're always taught and conditioned to put money away. But bro, we lose more money due to inflation than we do to taking these little trips and making these great memories. Taking advantage of it. What goes around comes around. So I mean, it's just it's hard.
And I mean, I think too, the people that are always like that, when they get to 65 or when they stop working, they're gonna feel guilty about enjoying themselves.
Yeah, because it's literally conditioned into their mind. Yeah. It's crazy. It's crazy.
Anyways, how about your question?
That was a really good question, bro. That was a deep one. I like it. I'm digging it. What's it called? So my question to you, because you're the expert in this industry, my question to you is, do you think that having a personal brand is important as a business owner and as an individual?
Dang. Dang, dude. I do not have a personal brand. I think it depends on what your ultimate goals are. I think if you want to be in the spotlight, if you want your life to be public, if you want, to build up your following through that, then yeah, it's important, of course. Like, Grant Cardone, like he's built up everything around his name and his likeness,
10X, baby.
athletes, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
That's not the route I want to take, to be honest. I like having a private life. I don't want to put my life and everything I do and what my kid eats for breakfast out there. But if that's what you want to do, then go for it.
Yeah.
I know I think there's pluses and minuses to both things, and I think this is where we differ. Because I think that's the route you want to take, and I think you see the positives of it.
Yeah.
And that's not the route I want to take because I see the negatives of it. So I mean, we can talk about the positives and negatives of both if you want, but
Yeah.
it's like I think one thing is just if you're to me the only perfect role model and the only person I look up to that I know will never let me down is Jesus and God. And everyone else is human. Everyone else is flawed. And I've had it happen a lot in my life where I looked up to someone, and then I found out things about them, or saw things about them, or that they did things that I didn't agree with, and it broke me because I wanted to be like this person. It was someone who I saw as a positive role model. And because of that, like you make mistakes, I make mistakes too, and as much as I want to change the world and have an impact on people, I don't want people to see me as the person they want to be like, because if God forbid I do something that they don't agree with, or make a mistake, that'll do more harm for them than good. But if we look to Jesus and focus on that part, then he will never let us down because he was the only one that was perfect. But that's just one of the reasons. There's a lot more things. Like if you're in the public eye, if your personal brand becomes who you are, you're in the spotlight a lot more. You have a lot more eyes on you. You have people watching you a lot more. And I like working behind the scenes and doing my own thing and not having.
Well, the beautiful part about that, that's a good response. The beautiful part about having all those eyes on you is attention equals opportunity, and opportunity equals anything you want to make it out of. So like the more opportunities we have with that, the better essentially for any business owner or anyone in that kind of space. So I see the pros and the cons of it.
Yeah, but that's why it's good that we're partners, because
Yes, sir.
you want to buy a yacht, you want to buy a boat, and I want to be the guy that has a friend that has a boat. So
come aboard, boy.
that's where we differ,
Yeah. No, that's true, man. Lucky you one day.
It's all good.
But yeah, no, that's cool, man. That's a good answer. I agree that looking up to someone, for sure. I agree with that. I just think that there's a lot more good that you can provide as a positive role model, in any space or anything. I think that someone with a personal brand, like there's a lot of people that have like motivated me to get into business and get into, like Grant Cardone, for instance, Gary Vee, all these different people that absolutely crush it and just put a bunch of positivity and a lot of like straight up content that is like super informative and helps you grow, like stuff that school doesn't teach you, like 1031 exchanges, taxes.
I agree for sure. But is that the kind of lifestyle you'd want to have? Would you be fine having somebody follow you around with a camera all day, and
Not necessarily.
posting everything about your life
and all the criticism they get too? Because like Grant Cardone and Gary Vee get a lot of haters online too, which exposes them when they are at fault.
Well, yeah, dude, but the reality is like everyone is at fault sometimes. Like people make things worse than they truly are on social media with editing. So it's like, dude, I just think that like, people that are a positive role model and people that post all their content, like, dude, they have millions of followers and not every single one supports it or not every single one agrees with it at all times. But the reality is like, dude, it's real stuff. Like they've grown a following because they're authentic and they show the good, bad, and ugly. So it's just like, dude, people want authenticity. Like people like if someone's posting something perfect about their life every single day, like, dude, it's just BS. Like it's just BS. Like stuff happens, hardships in business, hardships in there, stuff happens, and if people just don't post that, then it's unauthentic. And
no, it's definitely motivating. I know what you're talking about. We have when we went to that meetup with what's called Mark Evans guy.
Yeah,
nice guy. He posted on his Instagram last week, I think, that he lost like 580 grand in a month or something like that.
Yeah,
you know, and it makes our month loss in BUCH seem like nothing. But,
yeah.
So it's definitely motivating. It's definitely I see the help in it, but that's not a path that I want to pursue myself. I know that I'll probably lose opportunities because of it, and
gotta be okay with that.
but it's not it's not a space that I want to get into. If that's something that you want to get into, then that's fine. You know, what's called all the I think power to you, and hope it goes well.
It will. Yeah. For sure. Well, thanks guys for tuning in. These are some cool questions. This is a different format of an episode. I actually kind of like it. Something I want to do in the future. If you guys have like super interesting questions, here soon we'll give you guys an email. It would be Steve's email. I wouldn't even talk about this, but this is a good idea. So we'll give you guys Steve's email. You guys shoot him the most like authentic questions that we don't even know, and we'll have him ask us both on the podcast, and we won't be informed or anything about it, and we won't know anything about it, and give us just raw, authentic, on the spot answers. So I think that's something we'd like to start doing. So we'll let you know about that.
Anything else, Steve? What's called you want to add on? Any other topics?
No, that's it.
Awesome.
Cool.
Thanks for tuning in, guys.
See you guys in the next one.
Have a good Christmas.
You can